educators, Charlene here with Edulastic. As a former educator, I'm super excited to share all of the features that an Edulastic free teacher account can provide you, as well as some of the features available as part of our upgraded version. Edulastic is essentially easy enough to create all of your formative assessments, whether that's your exit tickets, your do nows, your bell ringers, your check-ins, but also sophisticated enough to operate as your district-wide common assessment platform. So what we're going to do today is hop into the Edulastic website. I'm going to walk you through really quickly how easy it is to set up a free account, how to start finding our Edulastic certified content and pre-built assessments that you can use right away, as well as how to create your own item types and create your own assessments. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll meet you on edulastic.com. You can start using Edulastic today by going to edulastic.com and joining for free in the upper right-hand corner. You'll go ahead and walk through all the steps, and then you'll be on your way to using your Edulastic free account in no time. So as you can see, I'm a teacher in Edulastic right now, and here's my managed class. Now, I'm not a new teacher to Edulastic, but for all new folks out there today, your managed class dashboard will be empty. And what you can do to create your roster is sync with Google Classroom in the upper right-hand corner, and this is available on the free account. You can go ahead and just choose your email, your Google domain there. And I've already synced these classes from my Google Classroom, but you'll go ahead and select the classes you want to sync. You can do some cleanup here by renaming classes, tagging grade and subject, click sync, and then voila, your rosters are created. You can also manually create your classes. I'll just call this test class. And you'll go ahead and again, enter all this information here. And then once you've saved class, you can add students one by one, or you can add multiple students by their Google username 0365, or just copying and pasting a first name and last name from a Google or Excel sheet. And then you'll be rocking and rolling with your classes and students all set up and ready to go. In the teacher account, all of our Edulastic certified content is available for you to use to create your assessments. So if you go over here to the left-hand side of your account, you'll notice this dark gray panel. This is where you'll go to access your assignments that you've created over time, your insights, which would be your standards gradebook report for your assessments. And under library, you can see two options here on how to get started in building your assessments. You can start at the library and go to pre-built tests. I'm going to go ahead and clear my filters because I was looking at something previously. And so as you can see, with all of my filters turned off, we have over 55,000 pre-built tests in Edulastic. That includes both our Edulastic certified and public library. If you didn't have time to browse the public library items and to vet those as appropriate assessments to use with your students, you can come down here to the collections and go ahead and check on Edulastic certified. This is going to give you assessments that are vetted and coming from sources such as various departments of education, reputable open source, as well as our own curriculum team. So as you can see, I have over 4,000 pre-built vetted assessments to choose from. And so what I can do up here is either type in, for example, if I'm an educator in Georgia, I can type in Georgia assessment milestones or GMAS system or milestone system. And then I'll get some Georgia milestone release items that way. Or what you can simply do is just start filtering for your grade. I'm going to go ahead and choose 7th grade today. I'm going to choose, let's choose science. And then I can add my standard set. So in this case, I'm going to use science NGSS. And as you can see, there's 78 pre-built tests that are vetted, aligned to 7th grade NGSS. Um, from here, what you can do is simply use any pre-built test. You can go ahead and just click in the thumbnail. You can preview this test, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and show you really what the student experience will look like roughly. With our upgraded version, you can enable text-to-speech for either select students or a whole class of students. The students will have scratch pad, they'll have a cross-out for multiple choice, a magnifying glass. They'll also have a Desmos calculator if you're on the upgraded version of Edulastic. So lots of different accessibility features for our kiddos, including color contrast and zoom options here. And so what you can do is just simply go through this test and take a look at it. As you can see, it's more than just multiple choice. We do have over 50 tech enhanced item types for you to create your own question and still tie to your state standards. So the beauty about our pre-built assessments is you can use this test as is. You can go straight to assign. And because we did that sync with Google Classroom, I can now select those classes that I want to have receive this assessment. I would like to assign to all students in these classes. You get to decide the open date. So what's great about this is imagine maybe over winter break or summer right before school starts, you can start front loading that work, building assessments, saving them, and then you can either release them by a specific open date and time, or you can save them as a draft and then work on it later. But you can essentially create an assessment on Friday and have it open automatically on Monday morning if you wanted to, as well as closing 60 minutes on Monday after that first period takes their assessment, for example. While I'm here, I'm going to go over some other options on the free account and then go back and show you how you can clone our pre-built test and customize to fit your needs. You choose test behavior. So do you want this assessment to be a class assessment that's graded or a practice assessment? You can decide how you want to release the scores to students, either not release anything, or upon submission, the student would receive their score, their responses, and correct answers. And everything else you can see with this $ here, if I hover over it, it has a nice description on what that feature is. But these are all available with our Edulastic Teacher Premium license. These features are also available in our Edulastic Enterprise subscription, which gives admins access to school-wide or district-wide data. If you're interested in trying a premium account for 2 weeks, you can head over to our Edulastic blog and type in premium account, and you'll be able to activate your free 2-week trial that way. So let's go back to that test library. Let's say that I really liked this question here for forces and interactions, but I wanted to add a couple of my own items. So what you can do is click on the thumbnail and rather go to assign, we're going to go to clone. And it's best practice that you use this second bullet point here. And when you continue to clone, now you can give it a more student-friendly name. So benchmark number 1 for Charlene Davies class, for example. Here's a description. You can re-tag your grade and subject, and you can certainly add any of these tags to your assessment, or you can create your own tag, which would make it easier for your colleagues to find if you were sharing assessments. In this next window, we can add items to our test. So far we have 10 that are from the original test. What you can do from here is either use your filter to find more items that are aligned to standards on this particular exam. So remember, it was the forces and interactions, excuse me. So I can go here, click on these standards, hit apply, and I'm showing over 1,200 items found. What I can also do is use my collections and go to Edulastic Certified, and I find 88 questions, all tied to standards within this domain. And then what I can do now is using the eyeball, I can preview these questions and decide if I want to add them to my test or not. Oh, I did like that one. I like this question. So I have 12 so far. Maybe I want to add 3 more for a total of 15. And let's go ahead and add 1 more. Great. So see, I have 15 selected items now, 10 that came from the pre-built assessment, 5 I've added from using the filter on the left-hand side here. As you notice though, in your filters, again on the free version, you can even filter for item type. So maybe you want to look at just the label, image, drag drop type questions. And so now we went from 88 down to 29. So now you're in a very specific category of 6th grade science standards aligned to science and aligned to NGSS that are covering these particular standards that are vetted and only of the label, image, drag drop. And so as you can see here, these 29 items all have that tech enhanced feature. Now I also see that some of my items have a DOK. So maybe I also want to just look at the skill concept. And so now I'm down to 13 questions found. So you can use these filters to your advantage, and just keep in mind, the more specific your filters are, the less questions you're going to have. But that is a good thing, especially if you're looking for something really specific. Let me go ahead and go to the review section of this assessment that I used from a pre-built, and now I'm kind of building on top of it, if you will. What I could do is, delete one of these questions, and then maybe I want to create my own item type, and I can come up here. And I've got over 50 tech enhanced items to choose from, everything from various multiple choice options to fill in the blanks, classifying, matching in order, writing type questions, passages, highlight, math, graphing, charts, you name it, it's here. And just for time's sake, I'm going to use a just simple free write type question. You enter your question. You can add multimedia to make this question super engaging for your students. We also have special characters and a math pad to add in those special math characters. And then you can continue on to word limit. Preview mode, the student will see the question, how are you? They can type in their answer. They can also upload student work that's available on the premium license. And then the metadata tab allows you to still tie a standard to that question that you're creating. So you can get that standards mastery data from these assessments. You can also tag a DOK and difficulty level here as well. So over time, you can build your own item bank or even share your items with colleagues so they can use on their assessments with their students as well. So once you've saved that, you can go ahead and add that that item to your test, which I've just done here. So now I've got 15 items, and when I hit review, I can now rearrange the order of these questions here. I can delete any questions. I can take my eyeball, preview any question. I can clone a question and add different multiple choice options if I wanted to. But as you can see from a pre-built, you can really customize it completely to fit not only your needs, but your student needs as well. Let's come to settings. And this should look familiar, but it's the same window we were in when we were at the assignment phase of our assessment. Again, you can choose test type. In this window, you can add test instructions. So you can add anything from try your best and good luck to this assessment is worth 10% of your grade. Or even if you're on a premium subscription, you can insert a picture on how students can show their work. And it's an icon on their side. It's a cloud with an arrow. So you can use this really to deliver a message prior to your students starting their assessment. And then you can come down here and again see all the different features that will open up with your free 2-week trial on Edulastic Premium. Before I publish or assign, I want to show you that you can share this assessment with colleagues. You can invite them to view and duplicate and send them an email notification. So you can do that with your assessments. You can save it to your private library or save it as a draft and work on it later, publish it to your private library and assign it later, or we can go straight to assign and then go through those actions once again with assigning to our Google Classroom. Just like we have pre-built tests, we also have an item bank. So again, I'm going to clear my filters. I can filter for grade, subject, standards that I'm going to choose Math Common Core in this case. Maybe I'm looking for just the geometry questions and I want to go to just Edulastic certified. So as you can see, filters are really user friendly. It gives you exactly what you're in need of to build your assessment. I show over 1,700 items found when I search for Math Grade 8, Math Common Core, these particular standards. I can even filter further for question type and DOK. And it's as easy as adding items to your Amazon cart. What you could do is just simply view the starting question here and you just add to test, or you can add with this plus mark over here. You can view the item. You can favorite any items and those will save to your favorites. But this is how you would essentially build a test using items that are pulled apart from all of our pre-built assessments. So the third way, before we jump into the data that's available, is you can upload a PDF. So all you would do is just go to your assignments clipboard, click new assignment, author test, and then create from PDF. You would save that PDF of that assessment to your desktop, and you would just simply search for it here and then use it as a digital assessment. So SnapWiz is what it's called. It's really our bridge, Snap Quiz. It's really our bridge. It is a whiz though. It's our bridge between paper and digital assessment. And it's a great way to still use your assessments that are great, but now in a digital form. And you'll get back, it'll be auto-graded. Everything's auto-graded except the essay type questions in Edulastic. But you'll also get standards mastery data back because you have the option with PDFs to tie standards to each of those questions. So no more number crunching manually, whether it's in a spreadsheet or on a Post-it. So let's look at some of the data that's available to us. I'm going to go ahead and log out of this free account because I do have better data in another account. So once you start building all those assessments and you've assigned them, they're going to pop up here on your dashboard. And so what you can do is filter for a particular assessment you're in need of. So one of the really cool features of the free account is that you get the live class board. So you get to have that sneak peek into your assessment when it's in flight. So if I come to this math benchmark here and I see that this assessment is in progress, I can click on the live class board and get those instant insights. I can see what questions the students are struggling with, what questions they're taking the most time with, and really allows me to provide a focused path into how I'm going to reteach this particular skill or standard that's question 9, for instance, is covering. So that's one of the reports you get with Edulastic is your live class board to get those instant real-time insights from your assessments. And then the other report you get on a free account is if you come to your insights bar graph, you'll get this standards gradebook report. And I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger here. The standards gradebook gives you a summary of proficiency on all standards assessed on one or more tests. So this is a really great free report that you can use to track that growth on your standards that you're assessing throughout the year. Now, if you look at all these other reports, these are available on the premium teacher account, which is what I'm showing you right now. And so what I can do is come into a single assessment report and look at 6 different reports on that single assessment by using the filters here. Or I can come to my assignments board and I can come to actions and I can go to view summary report and go to this window as well. So in this case, on this particular test, I can see my quick stats and where my students fell in their performance bands on this test. I've got a subgroup where I can look at my classes side by side. I can analyze by proficiency band. I can even look at the question analysis. So really how the question performed, the average time it took the students overall to answer the questions, as well as what the questions are, which each has a hyperlink to the live class board and the standards that were tied to that particular question. I've got a frequency report where I can analyze the item type and the performance of those items. I can also flag in red. So see how I've flagged it to anything below 40% is going to get a red highlight. These are the most difficult items. Again, question 9 was very concerning. I noticed that one on the live class board. And then also which items are the distractors. And so you can increase or decrease this however you want. So in question 9, it's a clear split between option B and D. So I can look back to question 9 to show me what was option D and why were students so distracted by that option. It looks very similar to the answer. So with the Scratchpad feature, you'd be able to see the work on the screen of the student, and you can see where exactly they were in the process of arriving at this answer versus 5/8, for example. So those were just a few of the 6 reports that you have available for any single assessment on Teacher Premium. You also have a multiple assessment report. You have a standards mastery suite of reports and a student profile suite of reports where you can get that overall snapshot of your student performance to date. You can look at their standards mastery and domain performance across their assessments. You can get assessment profile summary and then trends and standards that are being assessed throughout the year on those assessments. So I mentioned a lot today about Teacher Premium versus free version. Go ahead and create your teacher free account. And if you want to take those premium features on a test drive, you can come to our blog and just type in Teacher Premium, and you'll be able to activate a free 2-week trial and get to run through all the different premium features here. Before we wrap up today, I wanted to go over some of the features of an admin account and then review some of the things that we've gone over. So for an admin account, that's going to allow site and district level administrators access into all of that site data. And so they're going to, admins will also have a dashboard as well. It looks very similar to the teachers. They can create assessments from our item bank or pre-built test bank and share those as common assessments if they wanted to. But for starters, just to find a particular assessment here, if you go to view summary report on any assessment from the admin account, the admin will get to see, for instance, these 3 middle schools took this math benchmark, and they'll be able to drill down by teacher who assigned the assessment as well as each teacher's class. So as you can see, very similar to the teacher view, except this administrator is a district level admin and does have access to all of the data from all the various sites that are on Edulastic Enterprise. So a few things before we go. One thing is to make sure you set up your free account. And then on that free account, before you start creating your assessments, you do want to make sure you have your standards added to your profile. And if you're using Google Classroom, that should be toggled to on in terms of auto share. And you'll be able to find all of that in the lower left-hand corner. If you come to your profile, I've got a lot of standard sets in here, but you can go ahead and, of course, this will be empty for those of you new. You want to click on your standard sets right here, type in your subjects, go ahead and search by name by your state. So if you were Ohio, for instance, you could add Ohio Science. And you're not limited to your state standards. You could even add Science NGSS if you wanted to. And then once you hit confirm, it's been added, and that will make it a lot easier to filter for standard sets. As you can see here, they pop up now. Something else from your profile is make sure that your auto share assignments with Google Classroom at the very bottom is set to on. That way, all of those Edulastic assessments will be pushed to Google Classroom. Your students can access their Edulastic assessments in Google Classroom. And of course, the grade will pass back. We'll have both an Edulastic as well as the Google Gradebook. Thank you so much for your time today. I was more than happy to share how awesome Edulastic is. It's free forever for teachers. We do offer free trials to upgrade your account to explore all of the premium features. But have a great time creating assessments and tracking student growth. And until next time, thanks everyone. Bye.